Alright, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to another Hero Plays video. This time we are taking a look at a game that I am super excited for. One of the games that I did want to pick up with the launch of the PS5, which is what I'm playing this on. And this is Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. Now, Special Edition tweaks a few things, and I'll try and leave a more detailed explanation in the comments or somewhere down below. But essentially, it adds a new game mode, or not necessarily a new game mode, a new difficulty mode, turbo mode, which increases the speed of the game by about 20%, and it gives you the ability to play as Vergil. And this is kind of what all the Devil May Cry Special Editions have added, ever since going back to Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. So, I did play a couple of levels already to kind of test out and see if the game functions and if there's any crashes or bugs. There is one crash that I've noticed, and that's whenever playing as Vergil, if you perform a triple S combo, which is very easy to do, I might add, and you'll probably see me hit it off at least once or twice. The game will essentially lock up, and it will give like a little error code, but because the PlayStation 5 does something a little bit different, it doesn't necessarily stop or crash the game. It just puts it in a state of pause so you can kind of go back and jump back into it. So we're going to start over back with the first mission, go back to the prologue, and then I believe we're on mission 3. Like I said, I've already started a little bit just to kind of test out the game. But I did want to play it, and I wanted to showcase it. I don't know if I'm going to do a full playthrough. The game's not terribly long, but I don't know. I wanted to play it and kind of show it off a little bit. So hopefully you guys enjoy.
Just a little longer.
You need something? What is it? You hungry? Well, you're in luck, pal, 'cause food's ready. Kitty A always makes too much. Hope you like loud talkers, too, 'cause got a pair of those upstairs. You see something you like? You a demon?
Nero, the food's getting cold.
Kitty A, get back inside now!
I'm taking this back. I'm running out of time.
Wait!
It's nearly time. At last, I will.
Right, and I'll explain what's going on here for those who haven't played or seen the original. I'll kind of explain what all just happened within these 4 minutes. Right. So, to kind of give you a brief explanation of what just happened. So, at the beginning of Devil May Cry 5, Vergil, as you can see clearly, took Nero's right arm, which held the Yamato, which he needed, of course, to kind of put himself back together. And spoiler alert for those who haven't played the game, so big spoiler alert. Essentially, in order to save himself, Vergil, he stabbed himself in the chest with Yamato and pretty much took out his human form from his demon form, which his human form is V, which you kind of learn that a little bit later on. So you learn that like Vergil's human form is V, which honestly anyone could tell just by the way he talked and act. And the demon form of him is Hiruzen, which is the main villain of the game up until a certain point. So he splits himself with the Yamato, and up until about the halfway point, you go back to the mansion, to Dante's mansion, his home, and you find out that, yeah, he took himself apart so he can pretty much save himself after Dante, like, killed him at the end of Devil May Cry 1. Because the Devil May Cry timeline is, like, super complicated. Like, it's not in the order that the games came out in. Okay, good. The game didn't crash this time. So, yeah, essentially what happens at the end of Devil May Cry 1, where you essentially finally defeat Vergil once and for all, or Nero Angelo, or something like that. Essentially what happens is he finds his way to come back in Devil May Cry 4, sort of. He sort of comes back, and then towards the end of 5, he hunts down Nero, which is his son, and he gets back the Yamato from him. And so, yeah, that's how we have Vergil right now, kind of back after his defeats in the past games. And so Vergil's Devil Trigger is actually a lot different too. He kind of has the doppelganger from, like, DMC, which was the reboot. Which allows him to pretty much, like, make a clone of himself and strike at other enemies. Hold on a sec, I gotta take care of the one in the sky. Because those heal. So, just a little bit of a lore story there for Vergil's, like, little history there. See if I can actually kill him. Nope. Okay. So Vergil has something called concentration in this game. And from my understanding with concentration, what it does is the more that you hit opponents and the less damage that you take, the more powerful your moves become. So you can do, like, extensions of certain moves and stuff like that. I did not mean to activate the Sin trigger there. And I do apologize if, like, stuff is, like, kind of happening all over the screen. This game is very high octane action, especially with, like, the new mode of Legendary Dark Knight, which, like, pretty much turns Devil May Cry into, like, Mushu mode. There's, like, a shit ton of enemies on screen. So, but yeah, essentially, sorry, I kind of got sidetracked here. Like, I'm trying to keep, like, some train of thought, kind of explaining what's going on. But yeah, that's kind of like a quick synopsis of why Vergil's in Devil May Cry 5. It doesn't really explain why you play as him. It's just kind of like a, oh, cool thing. People like Vergil, so they want to play as Vergil. Now, I think you can actually win this fight, and there's actually, like, a story part of it if you do happen to win this fight. Which I doubt I'll win. Yeah, so you can win this fight, and there's actually videos of like someone beating the fight, and you get like a special little ending, but you're not supposed to win the fight. It's just kind of part of the story mode. But that is the prologue. We're gonna do 1 or 2 more chapters. Like I said, the game's not relatively too long, and the chapters aren't too long either. So. But yeah, this is definitely one of the games I wanted to get, because I love Devil May Cry. It's one of my favorite action games. Yeah, like the amount of action that happens on the screen is just like insane. But yeah, game's a lot of fun, especially in this new Legendary Dark Knight mode. It just really like ramps up the action. This is not what I'm trying to do.
Go to hell.
But yeah, essentially what you do in this mode is you go through all of the levels as Vergil that you would go with Nero and Dante and V. So it doesn't really change much of the story. It's just kind of like a cool extra. It's like, oh hey, people love Vergil. Let's give them Vergil with some improvements.
Now you die.
So, there are a few things I don't like about Vergil, per se. Not necessarily in terms of gameplay. I guess in terms of gameplay, like, he no longer has the, like, multi-cutting the Judgment Cut. Which is this move here, I'll try and show it off. Like, he no longer has that.
Have you decided which one of you will die first?
So, he doesn't have the multi-dimensional cut. Gaining orbs with him is fairly easy, so you can upgrade. Because all of his moves are, like, locked from the start. But yeah, even this boss, like, with Devil Trigger is pretty easy. There we go. But yeah, game's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's worth the $60 if you've already played Devil May Cry or Devil May Cry 5, not gonna lie. It does have some features, like I said. There are some improvements in terms of gameplay, fidelity, graphics, and stuff like that. But if you've already played it before, I can't necessarily say that it's worth going through again. So, like I said before, you can customize Vergil, like Dante and Nero. You get moves for each one of his abilities and stuff like that, such as Yamato, Beowulf, Mirage Edge, and the Mirage Blade. I usually get these swords because they are pretty useful in terms of combos. Let's see. Round Trip is actually a pretty good one too because it holds them in place. Let's see. I think Deep Stinger. This is like a Psycho Crusher. I'll try and demonstrate these moves as we continue on with the playthrough if you guys want to see more of this. So I'll do one more chapter. Like I said before, the game's not super long. You can beat it in a couple of hours. It's just more along the lines of, oh, here's the next difficulty level, and here's more techniques and cool things. What I like about this PlayStation 5 is that the load times are like non-existent, which makes things a lot easier in terms of like edits and stuff. So this game does have ray tracing enabled. I'm not using it currently just because I prefer frame rate over quality in terms of Devil May Cry, and so whenever you have like the RTX mode and ray tracing and stuff like that on, it does drop the frame rate quite a bit. Now these things aren't really annoying. You just have to break their scissors. They do kind of get in the way though. But yeah, Vergil plays a lot more tactically than Dante and Nero. Like, Nero's always had this brute force style. Like, he just comes in, wrecks your shit, and then leaves. Dante is super... He's stylish. Not like a lot of his moves make sense, but it's very stylish to look at. Whereas Vergil's always been like, okay, I'm gonna be the one that does like a lot of finesse and all my stuff's calculated, right? Like, my strikes matter when it comes to playing as Vergil, and I actually really do appreciate that. He also has one other move, and I'll try and show it off as well, in terms of like his relation to V. And I'll show it up here in the next area, because I think the next area has like a gauntlet of enemies too. So you can actually transform into V for like a split second, and then you can do like this mega attack with all of his summons. And it's very, very useful. Now let me see if I can remember the move. Let me see. Skill list. I believe we just bought it. Deep Stinger. Alright, okay. Press forward and then, okay. Alright, I need to get my concentration up, so. And the way you get your concentration up is you have to, essentially you have to hit enemies without getting hit, which it sounds easier than it makes it out to be. There we go. So I wasn't able to show it off there. There's another closed in space area, which I'll try and show it off, the whole Cycle Crusher move, because I think it looks really cool and it's very useful. And again, I know this isn't, like I said, this isn't supposed to be meant to be like some fancy edit and stuff like that. This is just kind of me showcasing the game a little bit. Hello. Huh, I've never seen those guys actually spawn there before. That's interesting. But anyways, we'll continue on, go through the level. But I highly do advise you play through Devil May Cry 5, the original story, if you haven't. It's actually a really good story compared to all the other Devil May Crys. It actually concentrates and focuses on story a lot more than the other games, as it's kind of meant to be a conclusion of the series of sorts. Because the history of Devil May Cry is a little interesting, because you have the first 4 original games, right? And then you had the reboot, which was supposed to branch off and be its own thing. I don't know how well the reboot sold, so I don't know if Ninja Theory is going to be able to make another one, or if they just kind of want to scrap it and continue on with the mainline series. Because it's in my heart of hearts, and I truly believe that the reason that we got Devil May Cry 5 is because of the backlash that DMC had, the reboot. So it did serve a purpose to kind of continue on with the original story of this game, because they kind of left the original as kind of like a cliffhanger type things, like, oh, is Nero actually Vergil's son? Like, he looks like Vergil's son. He obviously can wield the Yamato in Devil May Cry 4, so I mean, he has to be, right? I guess the only thing that makes sense. So let's see. I believe I have enough. Yeah. So I'll try and show it off here. That's a lot of people in enclosed space.
There is no escape.
Yeah. There we go. And so the cool thing about your Devil Trigger, or your copy ability, is that you can speed up or slow it down. And what I mean by that is if I decide to make it go faster, it will strike faster than Vergil can strike, and Vergil already strikes pretty fast, right? So you can combo it to do like cool aerial techniques. You can also do the same thing if you slow it down. Essentially what happens is that Vergil will slow down the summon, and then he'll continue the juggle when you're done attacking. So a lot of cool things you can do with that technique. As you can see, like, my clone is like attacking everyone down on the ground.
Now go to hell.
And as you can see, the more you keep your concentration up, the stronger and faster you become, and the easier it is to take down these hordes of enemies. Like, if you plan to play as Vergil, I almost want to say it's a must that you play on higher difficulty levels, just because his power alone it makes him super, super strong. Like, really strong. So I should probably charge my send double trigger a little bit. We'll probably, I probably could have saved that, but it's fine. So this is the introduction to special missions. I'm not going to do this one because I've already completed it before, but essentially what it is you can, if you stand on a certain spot, which is this little corner here, and then you aim it a certain way, it unlocks a secret mission. And that's always been a thing since like the first Devil May Cry. So that's nothing new as well. But again, I'm not going to do the special mission because I've already done it, and it doesn't really give you anything if you do it again. Alright, I think this is another gauntlet room. Yep. Yep, and this is what I was talking about earlier. If you do too much in the game, it reports it as a crash, but it doesn't necessarily crash. So I don't know if that's just an issue with the game, if there needs to be like a patch that I didn't download. But what's cool is that it will continue the game, and it doesn't necessarily like shut it off and restart it. So it's annoying because you will get hit, unfortunately. Oh, I got hit by that, damn. Damn.
Right. Silent. Now, Steve. You decide which one of you will die first.
So yeah, that was the bug I mentioned kind of like at the beginning of this video, is that, yes, the game does have a bug in it to where it will crash. I'll go ahead and fill that up. There we go. So that's going to be useful for this boss, which this boss gave me trouble as Nero and Dante, but as Vergil the first time I beat it, he's actually not that tough. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I think we're close to the boss. We may have a little bit further to go. So.
There it goes.
You know, I didn't want to use that, but that's what that move looks like. I wasn't planning on using that, but that's fine.
Don't move.
God, like he's just a lot of fun to play, and I can't express how fun he is to play until you get your hands on him and play him. If you want something very close to like this style, definitely pick up Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition on PC. I think it's like $2 or $3 now. It's stupid cheap, and it's a fun game as well. It is repetitive in terms of like his backtracking, but it is so much fun. These guys are a little annoying because every time he calls a knockdown, they get into like this little armor state. But they're not too hard to deal with. As Nero, they're especially easy to deal with once you gotta get your like claws and stuff like that, like your claw arms and all that. So I think we got maybe one more gauntlet until the boss. Or no, we're actually close to the boss now. So I'm going to go ahead and level up a little bit, and then we'll come back and fight the boss. All right, let's go fight our boss. Now this particular boss isn't necessarily hard per se. He can be overwhelming if you don't like time your dodges and stuff. But Vergil's pretty mobile, especially with this teleport. I'm just bad at the game. This always happens. Like, I do well the first time I fight the boss, but then whenever I'm recording, like, I get my shit pushed in. My man chunked a full pillar at me. Get some damage here. Alright, actually get out of here. Now, I think there's some green herbs around here somewhere. Can't remember. They might have took him out in terms of like... Okay. That did not go as planned, but that's fine. We can use some red. We actually don't have that many. I don't want to use a gold. That's fine. That's fine.
Once more.
Again, I'm just bad at... This does so much damage.
Now you.
He's gonna run again. Nope, he's doing this move. There we go. So I could have went a little bit better. I could have played that a little bit better. Use more of the spectral clone to kind of like take out his bullshit. But it is what it is. So yeah, that's kind of like the first two chapters of Devil May Cry Special Edition with Vergil. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a little bit longer than I usually upload. But yeah, if you want to see more, let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely post more gameplay, or I'll do like a full-on like story playthrough with Vergil. Like I said, it's not necessarily like in terms of cutscenes, but you can kind of like see how his gameplay evolves and his special moves and stuff like that. So I will catch you guys next time.